All right, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Toon podcast. I am joined by Mark, and we are going to be discussing this weekend's game at St James's Park against Man United. How are you doing, Mark?
I am doing fine. It's Friday night. It's been one hell of a week, and I am looking forward to some chill time over the weekend. How about yourself? How are you feeling at the moment?
I'm canny so far, right? In terms of the game, I'm glad it's actually after the weekend for us, so I can enjoy it. Because it's a 1:30 Monday morning kickoff for us. So that's gets the weekend out of the way and then up and early on a school morning. So that should be good, but plenty of drinks, plenty of entertainment, whatever, over the weekend, and hopefully some decent weather because it's still been pissing down with rain, yeah? Don't know what it's like being down your way.
It's been okay actually down here. It's starting to chill. It's starting to cool off a little bit. Still got the aircon on upstairs, but that's just all year round in Queensland apparently.
It is, and I've been seeing some headlines back in where apparently they're going to be getting some baking 23-degree weather soon. Which I know, 23 degrees.
It's like a nice winter's day here.
Not that we're bragging or gloating or anything like that, but
Yeah.
23 degrees is just a perfect day for us. But we will jump straight on with this. But for anyone who doesn't already, please subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see towards the end. And follow us on socials. You can also catch us on all the major audio platforms too. But we're going to start off with a little bit of news that broke over a few days or so ago. And that was long-term club captain Jamal Lascelles is being rewarded with a 1-year contract extension. There's been a few mixed reactions to this contract extension. What's your thoughts on it, Mark?
I think it's actually not a bad call. Look, I understand the frustrations. It's kind of one of the positions we've all penciled in as like a priority for the summer transfer window. We need some younger, pacier centre backs in the squad. Certainly a first team starter. The centre halves that we've got, Sharp, Byrne, Lascelles now, they're not getting any younger. They're all post 30 now. So we do need to address that area in the squad, and I think the people that are criticizing it, I think, are looking at why are we keeping him around? We should be upgrading that position. We shouldn't be keeping old players on. He's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. Look, I've got no problem with Lascelles getting another year deal. He is absolutely fantastic in the dressing room. He single-handedly held that dressing room together through pretty much some of the darkest days in this football club under Mike Ashley. He deserves everything he's getting. I love the fact that Trippier and Bruno both got him up to lift the trophy when we won the cup at Wembley. That was a really nice touch. And for me, having him around, I think he must know himself that he's not going to be playing a lot of football unless we get massive amounts of injuries. But look, having the leadership there, having that sort of that personality in the dressing room, we know that Eddie Howe values that. We know that that's a big call for him to have that sort of player around. And look, we can't replace everything. We have so much dead wood at the club still. And if we were to try and get rid of everybody in one window, then we'd have to spend like £1 billion to try and replace everyone with first team players. Keep him around for another season. He's got another year contract, and then we'll it gives us time to either fetch someone through the academy or get someone else in the following summer as well.
Yeah, I'm more than happy for him to stick around. Like you say, he's worth a lot more off the pitch as well as he is on the pitch. He's such a character and popular figure within that changing room. And as you said, Eddie loves him. And he carried us through those dark days, so well deserved in my opinion. Yes, he hasn't kicked the ball in anger in well over 12 months now, I think it is. And he probably won't be risked this season, I wouldn't have thought, and probably not worth it. Because if he goes down again, then that could affect him next season. He's ruined for anyway. But get him strong, get him fit, ready for next season, and have him in and around that squad. Good position on the bench, good player to have on the touchline for when he does his shitty little tackles on the players and kicks the ball away, does whatever he does, pick up those sideline yellow cards. Very, very good for that type of stuff. But more than happy to stick around. If you are on a negative disposition of that one, let us know in the comments as to why you think that would be. Very keen to get other people's opinions on your thoughts on Lascelles signing up. We're going to move on to now. For what I think was yesterday or the day before game, some photos were doing the rounds on social media. Their next season's home kit being leaked. So I'm just going to bring those two images up on screen right now. So for those of you who are listening, do apologize on this one, but basically it's the same type of stripe design, 3 stripes at the front that you've got on the current home kit, but it looks almost like it's went through a printer that's running out of ink. The way the stripes are like made of like a high quality dot design, but the dots are all faded on the black stripes. You still got the new logo on the side, the Premier League logo is there, Stellar across the middle. And it's a round neck rather than a V-neck that we've kind of got now. I'm a big fan of the V-neck rather than the round one. Mark, what's your initial take on that design, if that is indeed genuine?
I've got 2 comments on this. One is it could have been a hell of a lot worse given some of the shit that they've pulled out for Juventus over the last few years.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a weird choice. Obviously, there's a lot of purists around just stick to the black and white stripes, and I get that. They're trying to do something different. They're selling a new shirt every single season, aren't they? So
Yeah.
they've got to at least try and change things a little bit to make it worthwhile. The biggest thing for me isn't actually the stripes and the faded bits, which if it's like what we've seen in some of the close-ups, it almost looks like it's a tartan rather than just
Yeah.
dots. Which if you look close up, I actually don't mind it, but if you look far away, as you said, it just looks like, you know, they've run out of ink halfway through the print, and there's just this big faded patch across the middle. The biggest thing for me is like, can we get a different colored Noon logo on the sleeves?
Aye. It looks naff, doesn't it? It
Not
really
not
does.
to mention if any one of us is like trying to do like a green screen background, which would not. Well, I mean, both of us have moved away from, but like it plays havoc with that as well. It's the same
It
as like
really does.
the Saudi green kits. It's like, think of the podcasters, won't you please think of the podcasters?
Oh, but moving to the back of it now, the back carries the same stripe design. It's not a clear white panel like it is on the current one. And again, if this is genuine, the name and numbers are black.
Yeah.
I don't get the reason why is to that. I know there's only a select number of colours you're allowed to use on a Premier League kit. Maybe they could have went back to the red name and numbers on this one, but maybe having, I don't know, the red numbers on a white stripe or something. That's just me, just probably thinking too much into that. But I do not like the idea of the black name and numbers against that stripe pattern.
It's going to be a bit hard to see from the stands, isn't it?
It is, aye. Yeah, I mean, if you're up in the gods and everything like that, you're at the top of level 7, you're not kind of a clue who it is, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, first glance, if that kit is genuine, then I'm not overly fan of it. I'll wait until the official renders come out. If that is the case, it might look a lot better in that regard. And who knows, the club might have even planted this seed out to get some early reactions to what people think. We all know the club have done that with the stadium talk, where they're planting stuff in the media. Maybe they're doing the same with the kits as well. Not sure how it works in terms of how early you got to get the designs in, but bit of feedback from social media. Maybe go back and make a few changes. But
wait and see what the away kits come out like.
Yeah, I think was it the 98 and 99 season where it was the blue with the orange and green stripes or whatever was down the side. Apparently that's the rumor. Not sure what year that one was.
I had that shirt, the original, from
Yep.
the Keegan days. I will 100% be getting that one back again because I do not have my original. I don't know what has happened to it. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's horrendous. It's like purple with orange stripes, and it's just yeah. But yeah, for me, I will 100% get that one again. I loved that shirt. It was just I love the iconic ones like the Air Force one. Like the blue one with the Air Force kind of stripes across the middle with the brown.
Yeah, I love that one. Aye.
Yeah, they're just iconic from when I started really supporting the club, like when I was 16, 15, 16. That was the time. So yeah, just for nostalgia reasons, I'll be getting that one if it comes out.
But for that home kit so far, it's a no from me. But my opinion may change if it looks better in the flesh, so to speak. Would you be keen on getting that one, Mark?
Like you, I think I'll wait and I'll hold off judgment until I see it up close and personal.
Yeah.
It as I said, if it's the tartan, I'll probably would get it because I actually liked that kind of different design. But from a distance, yeah, that's the thing that kind of makes you a little bit more skeptical about it. Just black
Definitely
and white
does.
stripes. It's not hard to like cock that up, but they
Not as
keep trying their
no.
best.
But again, let us know down in the comments what you think of that one. So far, it's a hard pass from me, but again, that may change as we get closer to lunch. But as of just a few hours ago, at least it pinged on my socials that Newcastle have confirmed that they're going to be doing a tour of Singapore, where they will play Arsenal on the 27th of July, the Festival of Football. Mark, you're pretty keen to go to this one, am I right?
I'm very, very tempted. I mean, I've been trying to get a trip organised to Singapore anyway because I do like the place. I'd like to go back when my dad was in the army. He was stationed in Singapore. So you always hear stories from him about Changi Barracks and going to raffles and stuff. And it's changed so much from when he was there, obviously, but. It is this like amazing city where you can get this super ultra high fine dining stuff right down to these hawker food halls where you get like a mountain of noodles for $6 or something. It's super clean and tidy. There's like it's super safe. It's like really, really nice place, and it's a 6-hour flight from here. I'd like to go just as well for the stadium itself. A while ago, I actually watched a documentary on the making of the Singapore National Stadium and all the issues they had and what they were trying to address. The stadium's air conditioned inside. They've actually got like air conditioning blowing out from underneath the seats to keep everyone cool
That's
because of
genial.
the high humidity in Singapore. But yeah, it's a nice opportunity. Hopefully, as you said, it's a pre-season game. We all, as much as we had fun down in Melbourne and it was a great kind of festival for the fans, the matches were a bit of a disappointment, and I think we're all in agreement with that. So yeah, just to get to go there, experience a different culture. Singapore's really open and friendly as well in terms of kind of everyone speaks. There's 4 official languages in Singapore, so most people speak English anyway. It'd be just a really good place to kind of go and just sort of like soak in the atmosphere of more fans, see how they go. I mean, from what I've seen on social media, the Singapore mags are pretty mental as well. So no, it's very, very tempting. It's very tempting. About $1,200 return flights plus like 4 or 5 nights accommodation as well. So it's not too bad.
That's very like. Aye. Well, you could be our official matchday correspondent if you do go over there and do live commentary, do whatever. And that should be a good event for everyone who's going. And if you do go meet Mark. Who knows? There is also talk that they may be doing some games in South Korea as well. But that's nothing confirmed yet. So just keep eyes and ears open for everything to do with that one. No doubt the club will communicate that in the not too distant future if that is the case. But we'll crack on now with the preview of the game at St James's Park Sunday afternoon, 4:30 kickoff. It is at home. And 1:30 a.m. for us Monday morning, as mentioned before. That's a long old slog on a Monday. I don't mind the weekend ones because obviously you get the weekend off to try and recuperate sleep. But when you're going to go to bed at probably it's going to be 3:30, 4 o'clock, you'll never get to sleep on time because you're either on a high for a win from the match or you're raging because we've lost. So there's another hour lying in bed, tossing and turning. And then before you know it, you've got to get up for work.
I love the priorities there as well. It's just like I'll either be upset from the match result or I'll be celebrating the match result. Not like, oh, I might sleep in and not get to work on time.
Priorities, right, as you said, But it's a shit kickoff time with the clocks changing and everything like that as well.
Yeah.
But we've got the opportunity to do the first league double over Man United since the 30-31 season. We came close last season when we beat them at our place, and then unfortunately we lost 3-2 at Old Trafford. How do you rate our chances against this current Man United team?
I think it's our best chances at the moment to beat these sorts of teams because they've not exactly excelled this season, to say the least. Man United and Spurs have been very hit and miss, and it's the sort of teams that we've wanted to finish above and we've wanted to compete with, and they've kind of fell away mostly. Look, Man United have spent an absolute fortune on some absolute donkeys, and I think most of their fans would agree with that as well. They've well and truly overpaid. They've overpaid in terms of fees. They've overpaid in terms of salaries. The players have come in and just been absolutely seemingly uninterested in actually playing football. It's kind of like, well, I've got my retirement package sorted out now, so why should I bother? There's Unfortunately, they do still have match winners in there, so you can't just fail to turn up. This won't be another Leicester where we literally don't have to turn up and we just, you do the basics right and you come away with a 3-0 win and you've not actually managed to get out of second gear. This will still be a test. They'll still be up for this. There will be players and the manager all fighting for their survival and their futures at that club. I think that they will have a fairly hefty summer. I think they will spend more money, even though they're, however many billion in debt and however many players they've got and however much PSR's strife they're in. I'm sure the Premier League will manage to find some loophole for them to continue spending. I think they will be a competitor in the market even without Europe, mainly just because they will throw money at wages as they've always done. I think this is a terrific opportunity for us to get that league double. It's just unheard of that we've actually waited this long for that. It's almost as bad as winning the cup. So let's hope we're celebrating this one as much as what we did with the cup after the game.
Now, do you feel sorry for the club in its recent demise, or are you, like me, laughing your tits off at them?
It's hard not to take a little bit of enjoyment from it just because of how arrogant and how entitled the fan base, the club themselves, those that are running the club have been for so long. To me, it's just like, well, sucked in. And I think for Newcastle fans, that we've had this ongoing issue since the late 90s where Shearer turned them down. They got Andy Cole and he went on and won loads of titles and we fell off. And, that there's, we've got obviously the links with Steve Bruce being their star defender and being an absolute shite manager for us. There's a lot of links there. To me, it's more. I think their behavior with trying to get Dan Ashworth and how that all went down, that to me was kind of like, right, you're getting absolutely no sympathy now whatsoever. You've tried to do the dirty on us. You've gone behind the club's back. You haven't done it properly, and then had this media bombardment of like hard luck stories because Newcastle weren't just letting you have what you wanted, despite the fact that you're the ones that have done everything wrong. So yeah, for me, there's very little sympathy there. They can suck it as far as I'm concerned, and I will enjoy for them struggling for as much as they can. They've dominated the league by effectively having a very good combination of buying the best players out from under everyone and stopping other players getting them, but also actively weakening teams that were about to try and challenge them because they had the biggest finances in the league. And now that other teams have the finances, it's woe is me. Oh, we need to get this under control. People are outspending, then this is not healthy for the game. It was absolutely fine when they were doing it. And, suck it up, princess.
Well, we all know it's a very heavy shirt the Man United players wear, apparently, isn't it? I had to get that in. That's a bit of an inside joke on that one, so you may get it, you may not. But
Tom may be watching. Tom may be watching.
You may be. But that's a very heavy shirt.
You'll be off stalking Mateta, I'm sure. But anyway,
and hopefully it's even heavier come this weekend. But looking at our home form this season for the league, so we've played 14, won 8, drawn 2, lost 4, scored 26, and conceded 18. We're currently 5th in the table with 53 points, with a game in hand against those around us. Man United's away form. They've played 16, won 4, drawn 5, lost 6, scored 16, conceded 16, They're 13th on 38 points. I actually genuinely find that hilarious. I mean, looking at their away form, obviously the points that they're taking away isn't good enough what you would expect for a team of Man United's valuation. I'm not going to say quality because they've got some dog shit players for their squad valuation, but they only conceded 16 goals away from home. That's less than what we've conceded at home. That's not a bad defense record away from.
Yeah.
It's obviously not scoring enough. And I mean, we've scored 10 goals more than them, again, home versus away. But their danger man, Bruno Fernandes, and I'm
Fake,
actually going
fake
to
Bruno.
quote
Fake
Big
Bruno.
Bruno, yes. And actually, there was a tweet that made me chuckle a few days ago. He said Bruno Fernandes is like one of those real life footballers who rock up to a charity game full of pop stars. He's the only one who's decent in that entire squad, and he is their talisman. He pulls their strings. I don't believe he was part of the 2-0 loss back at Old Trafford in December, I think it was.
I think he was out suspended or something at the time, wasn't
Yeah.
he?
So if we can keep him quiet, and again, him being their danger man, him pulling all the strings, it should be a game which we control the midfield, we control the flow of the game, you'd think.
Yeah, I saw a graphic someone put up, and it's kind of almost one of those. Normally, it would be a piss take of like, oh, this is the combined 11 from both Newcastle and Man United squads, and it was like
Yeah.
the only Man United player in the squad was Bruno Fernandes. Fake Bruno is next level. He is actually really good, as much as we all hate him. If he didn't dive like a ballerina, then he would actually have a lot more credit in the bank as well, because he is actually a very good player. But the rest of that squad at the moment, it's really hard to see exactly who would get into a Newcastle side right now over our fully fit squad. Certainly, our midfield should dominate theirs. They've just not got the players, and they've just not got the form. I hope that we score early and get the pressure on. I think if we score early, I think we'll see it out. But if they can keep it tight, you just never know, because as I said, like fake Bruno is a match winner, and it's very, very possible that he'll just grab something out of nothing, and we'll be like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah. Yeah, he's obviously the one that we've got to keep an eye on. Maybe we just get Tonali to stick to him like glue, or we just get Joe Linton to go through within the first minute and send his ankles to Rose Z and level 7. Who knows? But Joe Linton is one yellow card away from a 2-match ban, so hopefully
I was
he
just
can
about to
avoid that.
ask you. I was about to ask you what the tally currently was. When does that start? When does that stop?
I think after the Palace game, he's got 2 games to go to avoid a 2-match ban. So very similar to what Bruno had at a similar time frame last season as well.
Yeah. I
I
still don't
think
know how
Dan
Bruno
Burn,
managed to escape that, by the way.
no chance. But Dan Burn, he's treading a disciplinary tightrope as well, so he's not too far off the suspension. Anthony Gordon has returned to training. He's back on the grass, according to Jason Tyndall, who stood in for sick Eddie Howe in the presser not so long ago. You wouldn't expect him to come back in the starting lineup, considering how good Harvey Barnes has been in his absence, would you?
I hope not. I really do. And it's nothing to say that I don't want Gordon back in the side, because I want him back in and amongst everything, because he's quality's obvious. The big thing for me is Harvey Barnes has been super patient. He hasn't thrown the toys out the pram when he's not had the chances. He's done what he needed to do off the bench. He's finally got his opportunity through, and let's be honest here, through a bit of a brain fart by Gordon to get himself suspended for 3 games in the first place. So, Harvey Barnes has come in and he's not let the side down. He played brilliantly in the cup final. He's played brilliantly in the league games. He scored a goal at the weekend, well, on Monday against Leicester. I don't know what more he needs to do to solidify that position for himself, or at least keep his spot for the time being. And I think Gordon needs to come in off the bench. He needs to prove that he's a team player as well, especially after why he's missed out. And that's not. I'm not having a go at Anthony Gordon at all. He's been fantastic. He was getting nothing in that game, and he's obviously got sick and tired of it and overreacted. And I 100% understand why he did that. It doesn't excuse the fact that he did it. And I think he needs to understand that and just sort of work his way back in. prove himself again and on form. If he wins his spot back, then that's how he gets back in the side, and you don't start pissing players off that have come in and done a good job, because you want everybody to be fighting for that position. Like it was on our relegation scrap season. Nobody wanted to sit out the games because everybody knew there was pressure for those places. I think the squad's aged a little bit, and I don't think the pressure's there as much as it used to be. And so now I think we need to really reward players that come in and do well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I mean, to be honest, having Gordon as your secret weapon on the bench after about 70 minutes, once their defenders start to tire, I think it's Lenny Yoro who is one of either their centre back or left back, one of the two. He is a very inexperienced defender. They paid a lot of money for him. He did just score against Leon in the morning, but when he sees Anthony Gordon warming up, he's got to be thinking, shit, I'm a little bit goosed here. I've been running ragged by Isak for the last 70 minutes, and now I've got to put up with fresh Anthony Gordon, who's had probably, 3-4 weeks off, something like it. He played a little bit of time with England where he picked up an injury, but he should be as fresh as a daisy now, good to go for the remainder of the season for these last 8 games. And he is, again, a bit of a secret weapon to have on that bench.
Well, we haven't really got a lot else on the bench in terms of attacking threat at the moment. I mean, I know people keep going. Everyone keeps saying they want to see more of a Sula, but for me, I think I've said it before. He looks like a Great Dane puppy that hasn't quite figured out how his legs work. He's got some raw talent there, but there is a long way to go before he can be classed as a regular Premier League player. I just don't see it, and I want him to succeed because he's just mental, and I think he'd be hilarious to have in the squad and in the team. But Wilson's past it. I don't think Wilson this season is going to ever get back to his best form. Watch him score a hat-trick on Sunday for watching me say that. Look, I mean, Wilson, I'd be very surprised if he's still here next season.
Yeah,
I think injuries, father time, all the rest of it, that all the other cliches, they've caught up with him, and I think he needs to maybe drop down a league or maybe go to a newly promoted side just to kind of give them some experience. Love Callum Wilson, don't get me wrong, but I just think we need to move on from him. I don't think he's the answer. He's certainly not pulled up any trees in the last few games where he's come off the bench. And we desperately need some sort of some backup there. So to have Gordon back on there, huge boost for us.
Absolutely. As I mentioned just before, Man United did play Lyon in the early hours of the morning for us, where they drew 2-2. Last minute equaliser from Ryan Cherky, who was a player loosely linked with us in the January window. He's a free agent in the summer. A last minute equaliser has got to knock the wind out of your sails, especially when 72 hours, a little bit more, that you've got to travel all the way back to Manchester, do a little bit of training, then travel to the northeast to take on an informed Newcastle United. That's got to have some type of a negative effect on the players in terms of fatigue and also mental capability as well.
Fingers crossed. I will kind of almost say I'm skeptical about saying that we're the informed team. I don't think we've been playing particularly well. I think we've been very effective, and quite frankly, I don't care as long as we keep racking up points. All that matters now is finishing in that top 5. Thank you, Arsenal, by the way, for securing that for us the other night. That was very, very sweet of you, and especially given that now that probably means you're not going to get Isak if we finish top 5, like it was ever going to happen anyway. But yes, we need to capitalize on their fragility, I guess you would say, like in that mental strength that they don't seem to believe they can win games at the moment, and we do. Just. I'll quite happily take a Jacob Murphy goal off his ass in the 90th minute to win 1-0 and just get another 3 points on the board.
I hate this term of phrase, but it's the business end of the season, so the result is obviously more important than the performance. But getting a decent performance obviously encourages confidence as well in those last remaining 7 games after this one. They're going to come through thick and fast, especially got Palace just a few days later. That's going to be a huge game, that one. And that's the game that I'm actually fearing the most, to be honest, that one. Because Palace, they're a decent side now. But getting back to where Man United, we all know they're not the team they once used to be. And when you've got Butterfingers, Andre Onana in goal, uh, how when Inter Milan picked up that phone call and said, "Oh yeah, it's Man United here. You want to pay 55 million or whatever it was for Andre Onana." They must have literally just been pissed themselves laughing because he is a dog shit goalkeeper. I can't remember any other goalkeeper making that many mistakes over a period of time. If we can pepper that goal with shots from distance, crosses, whatever, he's going to flap like his hair's on fire. And Big Dog will be there to tap it in like he's done many times before. But we have to literally get a few shots in just to test them out early doors, would you say?
Yeah, for sure. Jack was on Twix this morning saying, yeah, we need to get we need to instruct Shah to start shooting on goal from distance. It's like he needs to be told. If he gets a little bit of space, he's gonna get excited and have a roam forward and ping one here and there, isn't he? So, yeah, we need to test them early. I think put them on the back foot. But yeah, it's the prime example and I know this is we talk about Newcastle, but I'm gonna have a go at Man United here for their transfer policies, because this is kind of why they are in the position they're in. Is that Anana as a player, in a nutshell, is what's wrong with their transfer policies. They've looked at specific things that they feel needs to happen because it's the flavor of the month. They want a goalkeeper who's good with the ball at his feet. That's great, but he still needs to kick the ball out the net. There's no good, he's not an outfield player. It's like, yes, he can play that sweeper keeper role. Yes, he can kind of distribute the ball. Yes, he can kind of play out from the back easier. But that's no good if it's starting from the center circle, because he's got, as I think you said, he's got the wrists like paper crisp packets or something. It's like he's literally letting some stupid goals in, and he's not going to be playing out the back when it's starting from the center circle again.
Yeah, it's absolutely baffling, as you mentioned, their transfer strategy. He's probably up there with the worst keeper in the league in terms of just overall brain farts and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, Nick Pope, as we all know, is a victim to the odd brain fart every now and again, especially with his distribution coming off his line. Mo Salah back in that game where he got sent off. Never forget that one. But he is, I'd arguably say, and probably quite comfortably actually, that he is the better keeper out of the two.
Yeah, for sure. And he certainly didn't cost 50 million either. So, when you, I don't care what the player is, who the player is, how well they're playing, how bad they're playing. Price comes into it, and you look at how much Man United paid for Lenny Yoro and how much we paid for Fabian Schär, and you just think, well, do your scouting. It's it's not. I understand maybe there's a Man United tax, and it's we've seen that with us where people have tried to leverage the PIF tax, and they've tried to get some extra money out of us, thinking we're desperate or we've got money to spend. The difference is we haven't paid it. We've been very, very astute. Maybe we have overpaid with a couple of players, but Man United just seemingly whatever anybody wants them to pay just to prove a point, they pay it. And I think they're finally, starting to catch up with them a bit now, unfortunately for them, but very, very funnily for us.
Yeah, that 100 million for Anthony was a masterstroke, wasn't
it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was how much did they pay for Casemiro? It's the guy needs a Zimmer frame, and it's well, yeah.
It's going to be an interesting game. It always is when these two teams meet. It's never a dull game, effectively. Hopefully, there's goals galore, and plenty of them are in our favour. I would absolutely love to humble those at St James's Park and get that league double for the first time in over 90 years, or whatever it's been. But I'll get your prediction off your mark before you wrap it up.
I'm going 3-1 to us to win, and I always. I'm always scared to predict us to win, but at this moment in time, I think we've got enough in the bag. I think the players are focused. I think all the players want Champions League football. I think they know that's the target now. They've got a massive pressure off their back by winning that cup. I think they've enjoyed that. It's kind of almost reset the season for them, and they know what's to do. They all want Champions League football. They can do it here. I think the players that maybe could move are under contract, so there's no guarantees that they would actually get sold if we don't. You know, if they want to play Champions League football, there's an easy way to do that, and that's to actually perform for the rest of the season and get Champions League football here.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the ball is in our court effectively, and it's in our hands. It's in our destiny. We just need to keep winning. And we won't win all 8 games remaining of the season, but if we can pick as many points as we possibly can, it will always remain in our favour. And let's hope we can get those 3 points against those lot on Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go for the same score as what you predict yourself, 3-1. I think that's tend to be my favourite prediction all season, to be honest. Because defensively, we haven't been great in certain games, but we've always somehow managed to find a way to score in the majority of them as well. But yeah, 3-1, and I'm even going to pick an Isak double on this one. I think he's going to be fired up because he was disappointed after the Leicester game. I don't think he was fully fit for that game, to be honest, but he was heavily disappointed because he should have found the net at least against those lot. And he probably likes playing against these lot. He's a big game player, his big dog, as we found out. And this is a big game. As poor as Man United have been, it is still one of the biggest games and most looked at the games on the football calendar for us. And probably for them now, because this might even seem as a scalp if they come to St. James's Park and get a result. Whereas previously they've come back and just literally punched our bloody nose and walked away with 3 points. But that's not the case anymore. We're here to take over, as Eddie keeps saying. But yeah, I'm going to go with 3-1 as well. Let us know your score predictions down below in the comments. Again, please give this video a thumbs up if you haven't done already. Subscribe to the channel and follow us on socials and check us out on the audio platforms too. But Mark, thank you very much for joining. We will be back for a Man United review. Hopefully it's 3 points and we are pushing up that table. Come on, Eddie and his mighty Carabao Cup winning mags.
Take it easy, guys.